Welcome to a special live edition with Colin from Digital Car Culture and, of course, me, Hugh Hattrick. I hope you're all well out there, the viewers out there on the interweb, watching YouTube from all over the world. It's great to see you, and we've got a fantastic show for you tonight because Colin is the founder of Digital Car Culture, and the latest issue is just about to drop. Now, is it issue number 5, Colin?
Issue 5 is gone and issue 6 is coming. That's where we are. So yeah, so you can get issue 5 right now at www.digitalcarculture.com and subscribe whilst you're there, and you'll get issue 6 when it lands in the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic. So what has been the reaction to issue 5? What kind of things have you had in the magazine?
So to be fair, I know this sounds a little bit big-headed, Hugh. And Hugh, before we get into that, I want to talk about what's been happening with you, because the last time we chatted, you were living up in Scotland. You're now south of the border. You're south of the border. You're south of the border.
I'm in the northeast. I'm in Alnwick.
Alnwick.
Yes.
How's that treating you? Oh,
it's fantastic. Absolutely love it. It's a lovely town. There's lots of things to do. It's great for the kids. They're enjoying their new school. So it's been a good move. I've just got a few internet issues that hopefully we can sort out over the coming weeks, and then we'll be back up to full power and running, as I say, on all 12 cylinders, hopefully. But no, it's really good, and it's nice to be in a new place with new people and really getting ready for new challenges. But lots of exciting things coming up. We've got a racing league that we're going to be doing with Rascal Rabbit. And I'm also involved in a really big event that I can't even say the name of. It's that big. But it's coming up over the summer. But once it's done, once it's all finished and it's all live, then I'll be able to let you know exactly what happened with all of that. But yeah, so there's lots of exciting stuff, and looking forward to the year as it's coming forward.
And you've got a new background, I can see. So this is in your new little man cave.
Yes, that's it. I've got a few, as you can see, some of the old pictures there. I managed to transfer them all, and you can just see my G29 rig.
Oh,
still for sure, watching all of that. So it's lots of fun. I'm really enjoying playing Assetto Corsa. You know, the original Assetto Corsa game. I've really got into that, and I just find it's a bit more fun than GT Sport. I think maybe partly because the driving in GT Sport is horrendous at the moment, and I find that these are more exciting races that you don't tend to have people ramming me off the road all the time. So that's what I'm doing.
I have so much to say about Assetto Corsa. So much, Hugh. It's my favorite thing in the world at the moment. There's quite a bit of it in issue 5, and we'll go page by page through issue 5, and we've got quite a lot planned for issue 6 as well. And yeah, I am in love with Assetto Corsa. Definitely, ESC is the place to be. You can have that for free. Put on a t-shirt. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have to say, I've been doing a lot of GT3. For like the lobbies on Assetto Corsa, and it's just great fun. It's just so it's I find you can get quite a competitive time. Once you've done a bit of practice and qualifying, it's quite easy to get quite a good run, and then you find that you're quite competitive. I need to work on my starts because I tend to get lots of wheel spin and not quite managing to get good starts. But we have good battles, and yeah, I've had a few wins here and there, which has been quite fun. So definitely a lot to work on.
But we'll get into it. But the cool thing about Assetto Corsa is it's pretty much for me it's like a physics sandbox. So obviously you're getting into it for the track racing. You mentioned GT3. I'm a Hooner, so I'm getting into it for the open roads, the roam capabilities. So you've got Shatuku, you've got Glen Shiel, you've got all these Elliott Canyons, you've got all these massive open maps of just roads where you can take any car and just hoon around. And I just think the capability of Assetto Corsa to be between track and hoon is just insane. And
I need to get the PC version.
But that's it. So on the PC version, you've got this community of incredibly highly skilled and highly talented and highly motivated modders who are constantly adding new content to a game from 2012. They're constantly adding new content to it, and whatever you want to do, it's there on Assetto Corsa on the PC version. It's
Yeah.
I'm in love with it. Absolutely in love with it. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I love even just the career or the special races that they do, even just when you're playing against the AI, because you can change it from, easy to medium to hard and then alien. So I've been trying to do it on some of the hard versions to get the silver medal. But even like the Fiat 500s at Mugello, the BMW E30s, M3s at Mugello as
Oh
well
yeah.
were fantastic fun. It was it was a joy to actually drive them. There's lots of oversteer, but it was kind of manageable. And it was there's a really fun driving experience, which is kind of what you want in these games, because I think GT Sport, you have to take it sometimes so seriously. And then you're kind of thinking, what's going to happen next? Who's going to ram me off? Am I a kind of magnet for rammers? So it's quite nice to get something that's actually a bit more fun.
Agreed, man. Agreed. So do you want to hit the magazine? Do you want to see what we've produced?
Yes, let's have a look through the magazine and see what we've got in store.
Oh, that's it. What I'll do is I'll share my screen. Right, so
Winding up the internet. Here we go.
Winding up.
Up the internet. Hopefully it won't crash. Here we go.
No, here we go. Let's see. So this is, yes, issue 5. So including the concept, we're 6 months in now. So this is effectively, it's 6 issues really. But issue 5 is kind of the 5th official one. And yeah, 6 months. I mean, it's a short time in some respects, but it's a long time when you're producing magazines. But I tell you what, Hugh, there's a ton of effort and time goes into to producing a magazine. I think I said the last time that we chatted, this just came about after having a few beers on a Saturday night, sitting downstairs watching the telly, and I thought, I can do a magazine. I'll have a go. 6 months in, having to kind of crank that handle every single month, it's hard. There is a lot of work, but the great thing is, and what keeps you motivated, is that the content and the content creators who are out there it's pretty much infinite. There's just so much great stuff that's going on. It's dead easy to find stuff to put in a magazine. It's just about the kind of the development of the design and ensuring that we're dragging people into to reading it. But what you can see here is we've took a new stance. We're starting to build it into a proper magazine cover. So previously it was just a picture in DCC. Now we've added the kind of the what's in this month and got the game giveaway, and we're starting to move further and further towards the kind of the proper magazine view. And this month, the things we wanted to put on the front was how to make a digital card with Codemasters, as I have made some pals in the development team at Codemasters, which is pretty cool. We introduced a new car celebration on the Lance Evo, and we'll do our usual thing, which is a review of the game. And the kind of the back cover is We Are Driven Foundation. You might not have heard of this, Hugh, but this is a charity that a load of sim racers have pulled together to try to help anybody who's in need and needs support. So currently, the Bradley Lowry Foundation, which was a young boy in Sunderland, so that's where I'm from, who had a rare cancer issue. Unfortunately, he passed away, but we are driven to supporting the Bradley Lowry Foundation for other kids who are in the same position. So we thought it was important to try to support them by just providing them with the view of at least a kind of a one-page ad. So that's what we're doing. This is always going to be there as the back of the cover. The usual editorial where I just go on about nothing, and what's in this month as well. Here is an ad for the website.
Fantastic.
What you can see there, and some more guff here with a picture that I found for the regulars as well. This was actually from Sky Blue, who is our featured photographer. So what we have is the usual. So in the regular section, we're getting a really nice rhythm. We have the news, we have maybe a giveaway, we have photography, a feature, who are. So we look at one of the communities and one of the leagues. Maybe there's a review of a game, which we've had every issue so far. Maybe it's an interview, and that's exactly the same kind of format we do for the regulars. Beyond that, it will just depend on what we find, which is cool. And again, one of the kind of the key guys in the team is a Fred Racer, and he pulls all of the news together. And this is basically stuff that you might not have caught on to be fair. There's so much that goes on Twitter and Facebook. It's really hard to be across all of it, but a Fred Racer is pretty much across it all. And in this month, we're giving away a free copy of Wreckfest. So
Fantastic.
have you played Wreckfest?
Yeah, it was really good. I love the lawnmowers. My son loves it as well. You know, when you drive the mini tractors and you have to destroy them all. It's hilarious. It's absolutely brilliant.
It is mega fun. Can you remember Destruction Derby?
Yes. Yeah.
It reminds me of that. Destruction Derby was, what was that? Was that PlayStation 1?
Yeah.
It was a while ago, a long while ago. But yeah, so we're giving away a digital copy of Wreckfest, and that's for any of the platforms. So PC, Xbox, or PS4. We're just picking a subscriber at random to use an online random number generator of our entire subscriber list. And if your number comes out, then you get a copy. If you respond to our email and tell us what you need, because so many people don't. It took to 2 issues ago we give away a digital copy of Dirt 5, and it was the fourth person before we could actually give it away because people don't and are just not responding. But yeah, that's the way it is. Friday night
takeaway.
Friday night takeaway. So on a Friday night, a few beers while I'm waiting for takeaway. I mean, that is so lazy, isn't it? What a lazy way to do a stream. But Friday night, I'm waiting for takeaway. Have a few beers, so I stick some games on, and you can see, you just about see and make out some of the logos there. Dirt 5, Need for Speed Heat, Gran Turismo Crew. And I don't know if you can see that one on the right-hand side, but that is Vin Diesel and the Wheelman. Is that a game that you're familiar with, you? Vin Diesel, Wheelman.
I don't think I've not heard of that one.
I am not surprised, mate. I am not surprised. I've not stuck that on yet. I've got it there to play, but we've not had that one on. God knows what it's like. I have no idea what Vin Diesel's the Wheelman is like. But if people vote for it, it will be on one of the streams in the future.
That's fantastic. I'll need to go and watch one of the old ones. And I think can they get involved and come and play along in the lobbies if they go into your Discord and things like that?
Yeah, so I'm just experimenting at the moment. So what we've done last week, I put a poll up to see kind of what games do you want to see. The 2 games that won were SnowRunner and GT Sport, so we played those. But what I'm thinking of is the magazine is split into segments. So we've got a segment for what we've got. We've got the Sim Zone. We've got Human. So Sim Zone is like your Sims, GT Sport, Assetto Corsa, ESCC, R Factor, iRacing. You've then got Hoona Street. Hoona Street is your Need for Speeds, the Crew, all that kind of jazz. Grand Theft Auto even.
Oh, fantastic.
Big and Diesel. That's your SnowRunner, Mudrunner, On the Road, American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator. So all the big trucks. And now we're introducing a new one, which we don't have a proper title yet, but the working title is Dirt. And that is all of your Dirt 5, Dirt Rally, WRC 789s, all this kind of stuff. So what I'm thinking of is each week scheduling one of the sections of the magazine to be one of the streams and try to work it that way. That's what we're going to try and do, I think. But yeah, try to drag in all the community and have a bit of fun. So this month's review was Gravel. And this is by Yusuf, who's one of our new guys, who is an incredible writer. Really, really, really good article writer. Dead passionate, especially about rally games. He's wrote about SnowRunner for us in the past. He writes about Mudrunner in this issue as well. And he's got a really good way with words, really nice balance between being simple and complex. Clearly comes across as being passionate and an authentic lover of games. And he has done a review for Gravel. So Gravel was on special. He picked it up relatively cheap. And yeah, this is basically what this is. It's a review of the game, just to kind of cut to the chase. He basically says that the game is a really good arcade game. It's fun. There's clearly been some bits ripped off of other games. It's worth the money because it's on special. Have a bit of a laugh. That's basically what he comes up with. But he's a really, really good guy. I don't know whether is Gravel one of the ones that you've came across before, Hugh?
I have heard of it, but I mainly played Dirt Rally 2. That's 2.0. That's what I've got. I haven't played it for a wee while, actually. I noticed I just got an update on my PS4 the other day that was done. But I do enjoy it. It's great fun just doing you can arrive and drive and do one of the stages. And I usually come about 4,000 or 5,000 down the line when I'm at the time I'm finished. But I don't do any what do they do at not the showdowns, so the ones that we give you a practice, you just go straight in and just have a go.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's good fun. And I do, especially I like the snow rallies. So if you're in like Sweden or somewhere like that, and it's on the ice and the snow, it's great fun. Whether it be in a modern car or like Golf GTI, the old one, they have a like 1980s one or 1990s one that's quite good. So I do quite enjoy that. I need to play a little bit more of that. But yeah, no, the rally stuff is really good. I don't have a handbrake. I know some people they get the handbrake fitted so they can do all of that. But so I've got to really work. I'm not very good at the what is it the rally racing. The rallycross. I'm terrible. That is hard. That is you need to. I think it's all they all say unless you can use the handbrake, you'll be nowhere on it.
Yeah.
So it's but it's good fun though, and the noise and the crunching and the crashing. I've had some spectacular accidents. I did the Colin McRae version, the Colin McRae one on Dirt Rally 2, and I went straight into the logs and barrel rolled my Sierra Cosworth over them in quite spectacular manner. So it was hence I am nowhere like him. But it's good. It is good fun though. It's a good laugh.
But Dirt Rally 2 is amazing, and I love the Rallycross on Dirt Rally 2 on PS4. And the handbrake is essential. I must have talked to you about this before, because
you made your own, didn't you?
And you can do it with a G29. So if you've got the shifter, have you got the shifter on yours, Hugh, or not?
I do. I haven't got it connected, but I have the box just literally in the room. I've never opened it. I've never put it on.
Well, if you put your shifter in, and you can put a taut elastic band around your shifter, always put it into third. Then you can put this over the gear stick and map it on Dirt Rally 2 to be a handbrake, and you've got yourself a handbrake. Honestly, Hugh, it's to be done. It's to be done. I should do a page on that in the magazine, actually. How to change a G29 shifter into a handbrake. I love Dirt Rally 2. I love the Rallycross of it. I think it's amazing. Absolutely love it. But yeah, Yusuf is our guy on the Dirt series. And then have you seen anything like this before? So,
wow.
Exactly. So there's a guy on the Instagram called Sky Blue, and what he does. So what I try to do with the photography is, at first I was just looking for cool shots, but now I'm trying to find something that's really, really different. So whether it's really different in a particular game or just very, very different, I'm trying to pick it up. And this guy, Sky Blue, does liveries and takes shots of the liveries, which you're just not going to see. And I've never seen before. I've seen nobody else do them. And he does these big liveries, these like kind of pop art, pop culture ones on Beetles. And this is, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, this is on GT Sport. So there, obviously you can see there, that's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But check this out. So he's got them he's created these for Ghostbusters and Spider-Man, Mario. You've got Deadpool, you've got Homer, and I think that's just a generic zombie. But it's incredible. Look at that. How incredible is that?
I like the Simpsons one now. Big Homer. If you could do one of Mr. Burns on that one for me, that'd be quite fun. I'd love that. I love Mr. Burns from the Simpsons. I always wanted to own the nuclear power plant. That was always my goal. And have the monopoly to run. That was the one. That is pretty impressive.
It's amazing. How amazing is that? Yeah, really. And it's not just that. So it does this is GT Sport again. I mean, a lot of this work is done outside of GT Sport, so the picture will be taken on GT Sport, but then he's changing lighting and all that kind of filters in Photoshop. But this just for me is just a perfect poster. That's kind of poster I should have on my wall. Just looks absolutely beautiful. And then again, this is GT Sport, but look at it. It's a comic-y, it's a cartoony. And again, it's all about After Effects. This is what he's applied to the picture after he's took it from GT Sport, which is again phenomenal.
So here's a quick question for you. I mean, that looks amazing, that Martini one. that you just had there before
Oh yeah,
before the video.
excellent.
How do you take a photograph? And obviously, you know, you can take a photograph in GT Sport. How do you send that away, like to your PC? Is it can you forward it or something? How does it work like that?
Yeah, so once you took the shot, you could then, when you're on the PlayStation, you take your usual shot through scapes, and then there's a couple of things you can do. Really, and either download it at the highest resolution on a USB pen, so you can go
All right,
into you can go to your the media library on PlayStation 4. You select your picture, and then you can transfer it to a USB pen. And that's how you get your
all right,
absolute the highest quality of
yeah,
shot. You can also just send it as a message. So what I do is I send it as a message to a couple of other accounts that I've got, and then on your phone you've got your PS Apps app where you
all
receive
right.
your messages, and you can download the picture from there, and you can do with it whatever you want. I mean,
Oh, that's
mine
fantastic.
goes through various layers. So I'll do it on the PlayStation. I'll then send it to my phone through the app. I'll then download it from my phone to Discord, and then I'll pick it
Yeah,
up from the PC from
PC.
Discord as well. But I think what the guys do here to get these kind of shots is they're taking it from the PS4 directly to a USB pen, and then they're
Yeah,
doing all these after shots.
yeah.
And that Herbie. So what else he does, and this was on the very front cover as well, is he does aging of cars. So
All
that's not
right.
just Herbie. If you look at it, it's got busted arches in every panel. It's got a little bit of dirt and rust on it, and that's all
Right.
added to the livery. That is the livery. That's not the after effect. That's the livery that is done.
That's brilliant.
It's insane. It's so good. Yeah, the Martini one. I mean,
That's amazing.
this is a lot of this is obviously on some kind of After Effect program because of the glow. You don't get that from GT Sport, but it's phenomenal, isn't it? Absolutely phenomenal.
That is fantastic.
It is
Yeah, that
absolutely
is brilliant.
fantastic. And then, as I said, I've been making pals with the good guys down the
Yeah,
Codemasters. So what I have found is, Hugh, that developers are a lot easier to get in contact with. For me, I know you're getting some big dogs. I know recently had David Perel and you had Josh Martin on as well, didn't you?
yeah,
Recently.
yeah.
I'm not that lucky. They'll respond to us now and again, but I'm not that lucky. But I do get good connections with developers for some reason.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's pretty good going.
to Codemasters in particular. So there's a couple of guys at Codemasters, and one, Robert Karp, who's the development director for Dirt 5. He agreed to answer some questions, and I had a few questions for him. Well, how do you make a digital car? How do you take a car and put it into a game? And I thought for Codemasters, I don't know why. I don't know. I've been a bit naive, but I thought it would just be a lot simpler than the way it actually is, because the way it actually is the way you would see on on Click on Sky News. Like sometimes they get a car, they have to scan it, laser scan it, and that's what they use to plug onto a game. Absolutely insane. One of the questions I had was, how do the different companies feel about the performance that you might put on them? So what I was thinking there was, you've got this is old school, Hugh, but you've got Subaru, you've got Mitsubishi Evo, right? So the peas in a pod really aren't there. So I kind of so what does Mitsubishi think if you put a Subaru like a few brake horsepower up or a bit of torque up? Like how does that work? And if you read the articles, they actually have to talk about it, they have to negotiate what the horsepowers are going to be and how the cars will compare. And Robert says that some of the cars, some manufacturers just, as long as it's in the ballpark, not too bothered. But some are kind of really want to understand how you're portraying their car in your game, which you would expect, of course you would. I plastered little refresher pictures just because I don't know, it's very refreshers, isn't it? The colours are very
like
refreshing. So I thought, let's dig some refreshers. And then we're going to the usual who are. So I like to. The purpose of all this was to give back to the community a little bit. This was about community content created by the community for the community. I know that sounds a bit cliche, but that was kind of it. And Flat Out E-Racing, they got in touch and says, "Oh, how about talking about us?" They do some stuff on GT Sport, But they also do leagues on a set of courses with Competizonia, which I've just butchered the way to actually pronounce that. But they do a couple of decent leagues on there. So I wanted to feature them in the magazine. And they just give us a little bit of feedback and insight into kind of what they do, how they do it, what it's all about, who the kind of the champions are. And then, as you guess, is the kind of the different links to their league.
Fantastic. Aye.
And then we moved into Fred Racer, who is the kind of the right hand man of digital car culture. He's always come up with new ideas and thoughts, always badgering us. He thought that this would be a good one, which I think it is, which is asking our community, so what have you been playing? Now, spoiler alert, it's all car games, as you would expect from a digital car culture magazine community. And I thought it'd be a bit funny to add a bingo card on there as to what people are seeing. But this is direct feedback from the guys of what they've been playing. So you look, if you can see that list there, Hugh, any of those, would you dab any of those of the games that you play recently?
I've been playing GT Sport and the original Assetto Corsa. I haven't played Assetto Corsa competition for a few weeks, and I need to get back in that. I've been being badgered by a few friends. I've got to get back on there. But I'm also getting the PC that I'm using here. It's now got these games put on it.
Nice.
So I'm hopefully going to be able to. I need to set up my Streamlabs to try and get it. I have downloaded it, but it's so small and tricky on a laptop when I do it on a laptop to try and figure out how to stream it properly and how to fix, because I can attach this computer to my monitor as well, and I don't know how to make the whole thing work, because you can have it like as two monitors, so you know what you're doing. You can see your streaming and you can see your game. So yes, I need to get that sorted out. But once that's done, and I'm going to get Jeff and Thea, the Amazons. His fiance Jeff is kindly going to help me to work all that one out. So I'm looking forward to getting there, and then I can get into some of their community racing too. So really it'll be on a Assetto Corsa competition and things like that. That'll be my main game, I think.
Nice. So 3 dabs then, all top row as well. I think, is that all top row? GT.
Yes, you're right. Actually, yes, absolutely.
You should win an Easter egg for that then, Hugh. I think Easter egg in the post for top row of games.
That's great. It means I don't need to nick my children's ones. I've been eyeing them up in the background.
I tell you what, I bet so much chocolate over this last week. It's been incredible. Readers' pictures. So this is just what the guys post in, and we've started to change it a little bit. So it's always been just car games. Game shots, but we started to introduce a bit more of the character of the community. So you've got here, there's a Lego Audi in the top left. You've got one of the guys who's got an actual real life snowmobile. That one that's just under readers' pictures. I can't remember what that is. I can't remember what. Jesus Christ, look at the state of that. I don't know what that is actually. It looks like some kind of roll cage. Bottom, you've got a BMW, a black BMW, who's somebody's car, but they're not able to drive it yet because they haven't passed the test. And then there was a stock car that somebody was able to take a picture of. And then similar for this one as well, you've got somebody's rig. You've got that bottom left-hand corner, that truck is not off a game. That's a real life truck. And then you've got a quad there. So we're trying to bring in a bit more of the actual the culture of the community rather than just all being pictures of the games. And then this was a new one. So this is the DCC celebration. So what I had an idea a couple months back to each month pick a car and then look at how that car is portrayed through various games. And celebrate that. Now the one I selected was the RS500 Sierra Cosworth. The kind of the one I don't know. That's for me as a kid. I mean, the Escort Cosworth was super big, but can you remember what was it called? What was the British touring car driver? Was it Roach? I'm sure he was called Roach. He drove. Let's see. You'll know this.
Yeah. That was a classic touring car. Yeah.
Right. For me, that is one of the greatest cars of all time. And there's an amazing YouTube clip of a touring car race off of like the 90s, where there's the two Sierra cars. Roach is in one. I can't remember who's in the other. One is powered for top speed. the other's powered for cornering, and for about 3 laps on every corner, they're just overtaking each other at Brands Hatch. It's insane.
Was it Andy Rouse? Did Andy Rouse not used to do the Ford? I'm sure he used to race the Sierra Cosworths.
It could be. I mean, yeah, this is definitely kind of 90s stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe early 90s. Maybe it must be early 90s, to be fair. So I thought that would be a great one. But the amount of work that goes in, Hugh, to doing a really good article about a car was way beyond the time I had. So there was me and our drift queen Pippa was going to do some of it, but we stepped back. And then again, Afraid Racer and a couple of guys, Max and Jagged, stepped up with pretty much the same idea. They said, why don't we celebrate a particular car? And they selected the Evo. And this is genuinely a really, really good read. Some of the stuff that I write is like fluff. It's a bit of a laugh. But these guys have done some really, really good work. They've done a lot of investigation and research into the Evo, its origins, from the real car perspective. They talk about the evolution of the Evos. And then there's talk about how that's transferred into games and all the various games that you can have an Evo on. And it's to celebrate the Evo. And what we're going to do is each month we're going to celebrate a particular car from its real life beginnings to its digital version, because obviously that's what we're all about.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Just as well they don't have the Vauxhall Chevette in there, otherwise I would have to put that one in.
Well, you know, I'm really your car you never find is the Vauxhall Nova. Why is there no Vauxhall Novas anywhere?
Well, to be fair, just before I moved, there was a mechanic who worked in the Scottish borders, and he found the cleanest old Vauxhall Nova you've ever seen. It was, I think, it was like a J plate, 1991, still on its original Vauxhall wheel trims and the whole thing. And it was completely clean. They hadn't done anything to it. The only thing they done was it had a wee kind of bigger exhaust on the back, which I noticed. But I mean, it was an amazing find. And it looked absolutely original. So it must have been sitting in somebody's garage for a while, not being used, and then the guy bought it. But yeah, no, that would be a thing. Now we've got a few requests here in the chat for people to drop a link for the magazine. So Colin, tell us all, how do you get the magazine?
Well, yeah, you can get the magazine by going to www.digitalcarculture.com. So that's our website. We have our entire back catalogue there. So get yourself along. You can subscribe for free. And what subscription means is that on launch day, you will receive the new issue straight to your inbox or your digital doorstep. Also, we do a lot of, I say a lot of, that's probably over-egging it. Once a month, we will do a free giveaway to all of our subscribers. So this month, at the moment, we're about to pull actually, what's the date? Oh, my day behind. So that gives people an extra day to do it. We're about to pull a name out of the hat of our subscriber list to give away a digital copy of Wreckfest. But in the past, we give away Dirt 5, we've given away Xbox passes, and in the future, we'll be giving away some merch as well. We've got T-shirts on the go and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, www.digitalcarculture.com. And once you're there, once you're at the website, if you want to get involved, we've got links to Discord, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. The Discord and the Facebook communities are where obviously a lot of the guys are chatting every day and come up with ideas for new content and all that kind of jazz. So yes, get yourself across there. And I can't see any comments. I didn't realize there was any comments. So apologies to you if anybody's been seeing anything. I can't see anything.
Yeah, no, I can. You've had a few people saying that I'll go right back to the beginning. We've had Blackbird Rally saying hello. We've had the Mew. All right, so that's Yusuf.
Mew is my pal Mew. Yeah, that's good.
And we've also got the Mew was talking about if you want to have sideways fun, you can join as a Craden Samba League lobby on GT Sports. And he was also saying that he did rather well on your GT Sports stream last night, getting a faster lap. And
it did. I don't know how. I never, Hugh. I did not lift my foot off the accelerator last night, and Mew still was beating me by a second a lap. I'm not too sure what was happening there, but I was flat down. But yeah, it happens.
Must be cutting corners.
Cutting corners. So this is where the kind of the celebration of Assetto Corsa kind of starts. So there's a YouTube guy called Sir Spats Gaming, and he is a big Assetto Corsa mod guy. Now, I've downloaded a set of Corsa for the PC. My PC just about handles it. I bought my PC as a streaming PC, not as a gaming one. But a set of Corsa is always fascinating us because, as I said, from 2012 to now, you've got this huge community of really committed and talented guys who are constantly building mods for the game and making it not just relevant, but improving it from where it was in 2012. It's phenomenal. Honestly, it's phenomenal what they do. And I came across the Spats because he is a big fan of the mods, and he helps the community on how to use mods. Now, I have no idea. I'm a click download and press go and play a game. And believe it or not, it's not hard. It is not. Once you get your head around kind of what you're doing, just to introduce mods into a set of Corsa is not a hard job at all. And I asked Sir Spats to come along and just talk a little bit about it, and that's what he's done on this one. He talks about the key things that you need. You need to have content manager. So So when you introduce a mods into a set of Corsa, you do a lot of stuff where you're taking a file, you drop it into a file of a file of a file, that kind of thing. Where there is a free tool called Content Manager, where the guys do ask for a bit of a tip, so you kind of drop them £5 or £10 or whatever. And basically, it means that a set of Corsa ends up being a drag and drop thing. So once you've downloaded something, you just pick the file and drag it into the Content Manager, and it just sorts it all out for you.
Brilliant.
So that's the first thing you need to get. Custom shader patch, which just makes shades better. It just gives you better textures. And then SOL is to do with light and how light reflects and refracts. And that's another one of the kind of key mods that the Spats is talking about. But the things that I got into was these two here, Glen Shiel.
Oh, wow.
So Glen Shiel is a place in Scotland, and on a set of Corsa, I think it's got something like, I want to say it's 7. I think I'm going to get this number wrong, Hugh, so apologies. Oh, actually, I still want to get it wrong. I have brought it down here on a magazine. I should know this number. So there's 100 kilometers, 100 kilometers of country roads in Scotland, and obviously it's a set of Corsa. So the physics is really cool as well, and it feels like when you're driving around in Glen Shiel, it feels like, you know, the original Top Gear crew, when they would do the car reviews, they'd pick 3 cars, no matter what 3 cars it was, they would take it somewhere where there's quiet country roads, and they would just cruise around in them. Glen Shiel feels exactly like that. It's absolutely fantastic. And then you've got Shotoku, which is the real life Japanese road in Tokyo. It's effectively, GT Sport has it in. So, in GT Sport, the outer and inner loops of Tokyo, so that's real life tracks used in the popular anime Wangan Night. So that's all set there, and this is used huge for street racing. So those maps there, you get loads of people on for drifting and street racing. And again, I mean, these are enormous maps which are free to download. Honestly, a set of Corsa is so good. And so Spats gives you very easy to understand, very easy to follow videos on how to download and install these mods.
That's really good.
Now, a set of Corsa I picked up on PC for, I think it was £10.50 on Steam.
Yeah, it's next to nothing. Yeah.
And you go on, and it's the best thing there is. Honestly, it's the best thing there is. And the more I've looked into it, so many people are doing stuff on a set of Corsa. You've got your track races, but you've got your street races, all your drifting, because that's where the main drifting is. All the drifting is done on a set of Corsa. It's such a great platform. And Sir Spats is a really cool guy who's going to come back for the next few months and provide a view on and give people insight into a set of Corsa. So this one, a car in a house, Hugh, I love it when people are absolute batshit crazy and they take a full car and they stick it downstairs in their house. I think it's absolutely insane. But there's so many people who do it. And there's a guy in America called John, I think it's called John Derringer, and it comes under Jack Dowell Motorsport. And he's took the stock car, so it's a NASCAR. He's brought it into his home. He races on iRacing. He's got a three widescreen, triple screen wrapped around the front end of the car, and he sits in there and he races.
That's quite
It's
funny.
incredible. Now,
Yeah.
the good story about the story about this is this NASCAR here, the stock car, right? It's 3/4 of the original size.
Yeah.
Now that's
Yeah.
because in America, what they should do is to get the fans closer to the sport. What they used to do is you should drag 3 of these around all of the big locations like Daytona and all that kind of stuff, and then they
Yeah.
would set them up as big sims outside of the stadiums, and people would have a go at them, and that was just part of the fun. So these would sit on motion platforms as well.
Right.
Then after a few years, they've done away with them, and this guy has bought all 3. So he's bought 3 of them. He's took 1 of them and put them in his house. He's got 2 of them sitting outside. And to do that, he's had to, he's got them. To do that, he's had to cut them down. He's had to cut the frames out, bring them in, and he's looking for funding to be able to do something with the other 2. So a lot of this is sat behind, there's the 3 there, around charity work. He's a really good guy. He's really passionate about it. And that's a feature in itself. Look what Jack Dill's done.
Yeah.
But the fact that he used to drag these 3/4 sized stock cars around the US for the NASCAR races for people to have a go on motion platforms, that's going to be a future article in itself.
Oh,
we
definitely.
we did one in issue 1, so Initial D, which is a Japanese drifting anime. They had the same thing in Japan, in a place in Tokyo called Joypolis, which was like a massive arcade. They had these 3 full-size cars. There was a RX-7, there was a Subaru Impreza, and the Sprinter Torino. Where you get in, there's a 60-inch plasma screen in front of you, because this is the days of plasma, on a big motion platform, and you could drive a real car in an arcade. Yeah. And this is similar to that as well. And I love anything. I absolutely love it. But this guy's
brilliant. I can imagine saying to the wife, "Sorry, dear, I need to use the 3 monitors. The TV and everything else needs to be used, and the living room,
One of the questions I said was, and how did this go down with the missus? Because I cannot imagine that went down well. But he said, yeah, he says she's cool. She's absolutely fine with it. But that's Jack Dibble, so get that one read. And then this is a bit of a momentous moment for us. So Team DCC, what do you think this means? Team DCC. What does that mean to you?
You must be in a league somewhere, or you've got your own league that you've been putting together.
We're in some leagues. We're taking over some leagues. So what we're doing is on Facebook, Mature Racing Club. That's what it's called. That. So it's a group in Facebook that is 2,000 people strong. So really, really big group.
Yeah.
And they have tons. They always have tons of leagues. And they reached out to say, "Do I want to be involved?" I said, "Well, I can't really commit to it because I don't want to have guys." So in our community, we've got people, but our community is an international crew. We've got people in America, in India, New Zealand, and Australia. We've got people Canada, everywhere, Europe. To be able to commit to a league is really, really difficult.
Yeah.
But they said, "Oh, that's fine. We've got guys that will run for you." So we've done a couple of leagues, and honestly, they're so much fun. They broadcast them on YouTube with commentary, and it's been great to see cars racing with a DCC livery, competitively. And this is what we had here. We had Ben and Terry. I wish I'd thought more of the Ben and Jerry pun.
Yeah.
Because I could have done something with that.
Yeah.
It didn't dawn on us until after I published the magazine that I could have done something with that pun. But for this, the BGWT, which was a Subaru WRX league over 12, but it was 6 rounds and 12 races, but 12 different tracks each week. There'd be one night of 2 different tracks and 2 different races. And Ben and Terry, they drove those for us, and they did a sterling job, with Ben coming out as the Pro-Am champion. And as a team, we came 5th out of 7, but we were super close. We were really, really close to 4th. But this was one of our kind of first ever steps into league racing as a team. So that's been brilliant. And I love my black and red and green. I know it's hard on the eyes, but I love that little that text there as well. I love doing that. And then who, I'm doing a lot of talking here, Hugh. Are you okay, me, just to continue? Just to tell
Yes,
you what's
absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm hoping my internet is holding up. I know I've got a few little signal issues here, but hopefully it's all working. But no, carry on.
You're all right. You're all right. So Human Street. So this is the one that I love the most, Human Street. So I used to do a bit of sim. I used to do about a year and a half of purely GT Sport. That's all I played. I think I got to a point where I couldn't get any faster, and I was frustrated because I wasn't fast. I think it's easy enough to get to if you put time in, it's easy enough to get to kind of like the top 10% of the world. Now that sounds mad, but it's not, because loads of people don't actually play it that much. But beyond that, to try to break into the top 100 and those extra tenths, it just becomes impossible. And I don't know, I end up giving up on it. But I love just being able to jump on a night, couple of beers, just drive around crazy, switch it off, doesn't matter, it's not serious. And that's what Hoona Street is all about. And I absolutely just love this little segment. And this guy here, right, Rusty Russell, is it's another set of Corsa one. So this is a Russian dude who creates cinematics in a set of Corsa. And Hugh, you have to see this. I would be tempted to press it now, but just in case your internet didn't keep up with things, I best not. But please, after this, get yourself a glass of scotch and click on these 5 links. If there's nothing else to click on in this magazine, click on these 5. This guy is incredibly talented and really kind of I don't know, he really harnesses digital car culture. This is exactly what digital car culture is. So he's took videos of particular cars, driving, drifting, racing, jumping, all that kind of stuff. He's edited them perfectly, and he's selected the perfect music to go over the top of it. Each one is very, very different. It's all got its own style, but this is what digital car culture is. You've really got to especially that one, the Rio one. It's an Alpha racing around in Brazil with some like Brazilian music. It's just honestly, mate, it's just phenomenal.
I will check that out. I will go and check that out after the day. It does look fantastic.
This guy is so talented, honestly, so talented. He's and please, everybody, if you're watching this, go and give him likes, give him love, subscribe, because you will not be disappointed. This stuff is like my favorite stuff at the minute. Every time he drops something, I just have to watch it. It's brilliant. So that's Rusty Russell. And this is one of mine. This is one I wrote. So I don't really write much. I don't write much at all. I just kind of design and give the vision and drag people and chat to people. But this is one of the games that I came up with, which is Top Gear on Need for Speed Heat. So Need for Speed Heat, you get through the game really quick. I mean, you get through the storyline really, really, really quick, and then it's just about modern cars basically. But I came up with a pretty fun version of a Top Gear challenge, which is you get your little crew together, you meet. It's on this. I'm saying meet at the Palm City, which is the fictional world that Need for Speed Heat's based on. Meet at the Palm City Raceway, and then you've got 10 minutes to go to the dealership, buy a car, modify it up to the performance level of 150, and be back at the Palm City Raceway for a run what you brung. So everybody goes off, selects a car, comes back. They can't be over 150. Can't have a 151 as disqualified. Has to be 150 or less. And then you see what people have brought. So some people do really well, some people do really bad. And then you do a few races around the Palm City Raceway. You then drive down to a drag strip that I've created on Top Gear on Need for Speed Heat as well. It starts at a garage. It's a straight line all the way down to a speed trap, so you can work out who's got the fastest car as well at the top end. You do all of that. At the end of 10 or 15 minutes, you can work out who's got the fastest car. So anything like redemption time, you get another 10 minutes. Back to your garage, you've got another 10 minutes to take it from 150 to 250. That's mean back at Palm City Raceway, and let's do it all again. You do that for 2 or 3 times. It takes about an hour. It's really, really good fun. And it's a good way to extend a game that you might have gave up on because the storyline is so short on Need for Speed Heat. But it's got so much more fun to give. And there's a little picture of let's have a look. This expanded. There's a little picture of of us guys lined up to do the drag race. Yeah, I think that's
good.
I think that's me closest. I've got a slight edge of a bit of foot. I don't think it would have helped us, to be fair. I think 1 extra foot will not have helped me at all.
That looks great, though. It's good fun, and that's what we want. We want it to be fun and a laugh and a chance for people to bring along something a bit crazy or silly and have it go anyway, isn't it? That's always good fun.
And that's what Who in the Street's all about. And Grayson says, so my little boy, 6-year-old, he's called Grayson. He sees me designing magazines in a night, and he asks, "Oh, can I help? Can I do one? When can we do a magazine?" Now he's banging at Pokemon, so he wants to do a Pokemon magazine. But I said, come on, well, he loves Crew 2, loves it. So I said, well, let's do a Crew 2 feature, an article, me and you. You sit down at the wheel and play the Crew 2, and I'll ask you some questions. And as I said at the bottom here, I thought, Hugh, I'd get 3 pages worth of content out of this. Unfortunately, he was not playing ball at the time. He would not answer any questions at all. He was just saying, no, don't answer questions. Don't want to do this. Don't want to be here. Don't want to do it. No more questions, Daddy. That was it. And Jason says, but next month we're going to do a reversal. So I'm going to play Crew 2, and he'll be in the interview seat, and he's going to ask the questions. So let's see what we get out of Grayson next month.
Definitely. Well, that sounds really good.
This is, I've got a pal who is on the spectrum. He lives in puns, right? Okay. No matter what's going on, he just throws puns out, constantly puns. And I said to him, I've got a section which is called Crazy Shots. I want something better. And he came up with Piston Confused. And that is, to me, Hugh, that is just genius. And what this is all of the crazy shots that have happened. So in the magazine, you can click on a picture and it brings it out like that.
That's brilliant.
And, that's GT Sport. What's going on there?
Yeah, jumping the curbs. That's
But this one just gives it. This is the winner. This gives us a headache.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? How did they get upside down?
Well, it's not that they're upside down, but the screen is upside down. So this is your fuel gauge, your gears. That's actually where they should be, but for some reason the camera's upside down. It just gives us a headache. So I thought that's the winner, and that's by one of our guys, Polite Animal. So he's one of the guys in there. But that's one of the new sections. Big and Diesel. This is definitely a T-shirt. This has got to be a black. Actually, be a black vest, I think. So no sleeves, black vest with that picture right in the middle. Big trucker thing I'm feeling. And again, it's Yusuf. He's back with his great words and his great passion, and he's talking about Mud Runner. So Mud Runner is the pre-game to Snow Runner, and it's the post-game to Spin Tires. I think that's the right way to do it. And it's a love letter to Mud Runner, basically, from Yusuf, who's a great guy. And then we're at the end. Big thanks to everybody. And then there's my latest T-shirt, which is Who in the Street, Big Bang Gang. And for some reason I'm pulling a weird face. That is issue 5, Hugh. What did you think?
That's brilliant.
I've been talking straight for 40 odd minutes. Over to you. Really, what do you think of the magazine?
It's genuinely interesting, and then you get into it and you think, right, what's next, and you go through. You can easily find something that really takes your focus, and then, as I say, and the write-ups, especially the chaps doing the Mitsubishi Lancer, evolution, start to finish. That was really, really good. I mean, I've done a few write-ups in my time. I once was asked to write for the Scottish Field to fill in for a friend of mine, and I did I think it was a write-up on the Jaguar. I think it was the XF at the time, and so I know what goes into it. And you've got to make it sound interesting and keep people's attention, and they've managed to do that easily. And have some fantastic pictures, and then they go right the way through to how it's become a digital car as well, for games, which is really, really good. But no, I like it. I like the fact it covers everything, from the great illustrators and the mods, and you've really got something for everyone. So yeah, it's definitely something that, and the fact that it's free, you're not, how can you lose? How can you not enjoy having a look at the magazine? Because you really get something for it, and you can even start to contribute something to it too. It's in fact, we just had a message there from Serality, who said he's done a special illustration for Murray Walker as a tribute, and I was thinking I should get in contact with you because he's done some great pictures as well. And that might work quite well. That would be quite good to see if we can get it on there. So there's lots of, it's a great way for people who are motorsport enthusiasts and car enthusiasts to come on and give them a chance to show what they can do.
100%. So it's, I'm comfortable to give way for the professional look and feel if passion is the thing that kind of shines through. So none of us who are involved with this are journalists. We're not professional writers. We're just passionate about the subject, and that's it. And I think that's all that matters. I genuinely do. I think that's all that matters. If you are passionate about it, then that passion will shine through. And the grammar and the spelling and the structure. I mean, some people obviously it annoys them and it gets on the nerves and they dig into it. But for me, it's if you are really passionate about it, then let's get it in the magazine. Absolutely. And it's a community piece. I'm always asking for people to contribute. And there are so many really, really cool contributors out there and content creators. I mean, some of the people that I look at, we're putting in a new guy for some photography for the next month. And they've got, it's like 300-400 followers. And you look at the stuff and think, Jesus, like
it's really good. Yeah.
Given the right platform, this could be one of the biggest things you see for digital car culture because the quality is so good. And you've got that throughout the entire community. You've got really active and support and networks in Facebook and Reddit. And all I want to do is really, I need to take that picture off. Sorry, I need to take that picture off of me. That is horrendous. Let's go back to something that's a bit more. Actually, I don't have to share anymore, do we? I can take this.
Yeah, that's it. You can take it off the sharing.
There
we go.
There we go. So, yeah, for me, it's about bringing people in. Really is about bringing people in. And for the next issue, again, we're going to be there'll be a lot of Assetto Corsa. There's going to be a lot of drifting in the next one. So there's a guy, Carmade Trick. Don't know if you came across Carmade Trick, but he's a drifter in real life and in Sims. So he's doing an interview to talk us through. So Spats, he'll be back around some of the mods. We've got. Have you seen this one, Hugh? Have you seen the photogrammetry video that's doing the rounds on YouTube? It's a guy. So photogrammetry is where you can take and 3D. You can create 3D structures with just photos. So you don't need digital jazz. Yeah. You just need to take loads and loads of photos. And there's a guy who, I'll be honest, I don't know where he's from, but he's done an interview for us where he's done a tour of his neighborhood. He's took all of the shots that he needs to create a 3D world. And then he's applied the 3D world into Assetto Corsa, another Assetto Corsa thing. Yeah. And you can drive around in Assetto Corsa around his neighborhood. And there's cars parked, there's trees and bushes and houses. It's absolutely insane. So we've got that. Brilliant. It's insane. We've got that. We've got an awesome photographer. We've got loads in the next issue. I'm really enjoying it, mate. Honestly, I really love the magazine. I mean, it's got no commercial value. It doesn't create anything, like no revenue, but it's just a really, really cool hobby, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I want to say to all our viewers as well today that I'll be putting this out as a podcast. So I'll I'll put the podcast link to you, so you can always put that on your Discord for people who might not be able to watch it on YouTube. They can listen to it in the cars or driving along or whatever they might be doing. They can have that in alongside them too. But no, it's fantastic, and I think it's really good to see it all growing, and to see the amount of people contributing to it, and the quality of what they're producing. And this thing, you've only really just got started. Think of where you can be in a year's time.
And I put that point out as well, actually, on Facebook and Instagram. That we're 6 months in, but this is only getting started, and we are getting to a point where we need to think about where do we want to take it, because the feedback that we get is phenomenal. People when people read it. And if you can kind of look past some of the kind of little errors that we make, but when people read it and they see the kind of the breadth of content, and that there's something for everyone, and you're always learning something new. You learn something new in each issue. It's a great magazine, and I know I'm quite biased at that, but it is the challenge is just getting it out to more eyeballs. Maybe polishing it up so it's a bit more professional, but getting it out to more eyeballs. And I think we're at the point where it's like, well, how do we do that? And that means that, to be fair, our probably need to loosen the reins and give more control to more of the guys, bring more people in, and drop some money on it as well. Because I think it could, in a year's time, I think it could be huge. I really do. But it just it needs that decision. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of where we are. I'm pretty proud of the guys who contribute to it as well.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm certainly
right for it as well. I'm sure you promised 6 months ago that you would write an article for us. I'm sure you did.
Yes, I did. Because I remember we did the interview a wee while ago. So I'll need to get my writing kind of bolts going there in my brain. Yeah, we'll get it sorted. Yeah, no, absolutely. That would be fantastic. I'll get something sorted out and we'll get that put in. And I'm very, very happy and in fact excited to do this on a regular basis with you as the issues go out, because I think it's quite a nice way for people to come and see the magazine as well, and hopefully they'll subscribe to it, and you'll see the readership grow. And I'll try and do my best to put you in touch as well with some of the people I know in case they could be good for interviewing on the magazine and things like that.
Oh, that'd be good.
I know a chap called Max Drifter, who's quite a young drifter. I think he's about 15 or 16, but he does it in real life. He goes to these big competitions and does stuff. And he also does it online as well. Nice. And he's got a YouTube channel. So I'll see if I can get in touch with him and see if that might be something that you could do. Because it's always good publicity both ways to get interviews like that.
I mean, and he's super lucky. If his surname is Drifter, and he's ended up drifting. What a lucky boy.
I think that might be his YouTube name.
I assumed that. I did assume that. Sorry.
But no, that's fantastic. Well, that's great. Well, for everyone who's been watching, you can go to digitalcarculture.com, and they're on Facebook as well, aren't you? And you've got your YouTube channel.
Everywhere.
So everywhere, which is fantastic. But it's an absolute pleasure to go over the magazine with you and to see what you're doing. And if you like some interviews like this and interviewing people who are interested in cars and who are racing drivers as well, then of course the channel here, we have the show, the Car Sim and Race Driver Show, and we've got some big guests coming up. We've got Luke Reed on Thursday night, who is a driver in the Janetta Cup racing series. He's been racing at Donington and different places. And then we've also got JSR Devon coming on a week on Thursday, which will be good fun. He does the Idiots of the Week videos on GT and Forza. So we're looking forward to getting him on too. But it's great. So I'll leave the finishing words to you, Colin, as you're the great guest and the founder of Digital Car Culture. How would you like to end the show?
I'd like to end the show by saying that one of my pals was one of the Idiots of the Week. So I'm going to throw that out. Yeah, he was. He was on there, and we were very, very proud of him. And that is my pal, the Goat. The Goat Man, the Goat Man was on Devon's Idiots of the Week. And I know I should be signing off with a plug, but no, I'll sign off for that.
Absolutely, that's fine. That's brilliant. Well, look, thank you, everyone who's been watching tonight. It's been great to have you along with us. And of course, a big thank you to Colin for putting his time aside to go over the magazine with us. And we'll be doing this again probably in a couple of weeks' time, I think, when the next one comes in.
Yeah, we'll do it after issue 6 drops. We'll do this again. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be brilliant. Thank you.
That's great. Excellent. Well, to everyone who's been watching and who's listening on the podcast, have a fantastic week. drive fast and try not to crash, but make sure you pick up your copy of Digital Car Culture. Bye just now.